Greetings everybody, it's me again with another video. The last video I was speaking about the enablers, where I've given the topic about the people who perpetrated and assisted in the 2020-22 medical crisis. But I want to just start off with an example here first. Many of you will be wondering, why do I do these videos? I'll tell you why. You know, during 2020 to 2022, many times when I went out on the roads, etc., looking around, I'd see queues of people waiting outside clinics and centers to receive their medical solution for that terrible disease. The fear was palpable, the need was tangible, and it's understandable why people responded in their masses in that way. I also saw how people were wearing masks in even inappropriate places. They were driving cars with no passengers, but they were wearing masks. All of these scenes motivated me to do these videos to bring awareness of what is really going on. You know, the hundreds of thousands of people were doing these ridiculous actions, and I had to do my bit to bring about some awareness. So where did this doctrine, this religion, which I call, it was like a religion, where did it come from? Today I want to offer some answer to that question. In previous videos I spoke about the enablers, those who promoted it, those who carried it out, and those who pressurized others into the belief, into the rituals of that religion, like mask wearing, social distancing, taking of temperatures before you enter buildings, and especially the action of sitting down and offering their bare shoulders for the needle, for the prick. So where is the source of all of this coming from? Because we talked about the enablers, but there must have been a source and a start of it. The main character in my mind is an individual by the name of Dr. Fauci, which I also call Dr. Death. One of the highest paid, if not the highest paid public official in the United States of the time, or at the time. And from him came, and his team and his backers, came the narrative, the propaganda, the protocols, and it spread into all the world from there, because the disease was real. It was a crisis. It was causing a lot of many deaths and sicknesses and so on. And when I talk about the propaganda and the narrative, it was very much supported by by the media, and the media played a huge role. We saw on the TV screens and elsewhere the queues of sick, the queues at the hospitals. The hospitals were too full to cope with the sick. The morgues were full, couldn't cope with the dead bodies. There were refrigeration trucks that were storing dead bodies of people who died. There was not enough oxygen tanks. People were busy in certain places using their own funds to buy oxygen tanks for their loved ones so that they could survive. Crematoriums were overloaded. Lots of bodies were burnt and cremated in order to deal with the bodies. We saw the isolation wards in the hospitals. We saw medical staff with special protection suits when dealing with those wards. We saw daily the stats of sick, of the dead, of funerals, and coffins even at funerals were sealed that loved ones couldn't even view. We also encountered the experience of drive-by funerals where people could not actually pay their respects properly. They drive by like in a carcade. And there was the issue of ventilators to help people survive. So the word protocols became quite, hospital protocols, etc., became quite common. I said something about it previously, and perhaps in a future time I will talk about that because it's a major topic in my mind, quite an issue. Another individual was Bill Gates, who was very much in favor of the vaccines and promoted it, etc. But the big question for us is that think about this matter is that he's not a formally trained medical doctor, but he's got a fat lot to say about vaccines even before that medical crisis, because he was involved with vaccines that were offered to Africans on the continent of Africa. So I just wanted to offer to you today an answer to the question, where did this come from? You probably know about it, but like I said previously, we can't assume that everybody knows, because as I started this video, the many queues of people standing already as if they're going to receive something very nice. When we're going to receive something of benefit to us, they went willingly and sat down. But if you look at what I've said in one of my previous videos of the number of vaccine accidents, so-called vaccine accidents, the sudden deaths, the cancer cases, and the cardiac issues, then you realize there's something in what I'm got to say. And if you were ignorant, please take notice of this information, because as I said, we can't assume that everybody knows. There are people I accept will know about this, but there's a vast many that don't know, and that's one of the motivations for me to do these various videos, to do my bit, because it's simply shocking to see how people comply willingly to something that is even not good for them. So have a great Tuesday further.